So one of you guys asked me to make a video about starting a record collection, and while I'm definitely not as experienced as people who have been doing it for years and years and years, I thought it would be a really good idea, especially since Christmas and Black Friday is coming, so people might start buying records more now and they're starting their own collection, so I thought this would be a perfect time to make this kind of video. I've only been collecting for about 6 months now, but I would like to share with you guys my tips and what I've learned. I'll tell you guys my experience with record collecting so far. So the stuff I'm about to go over in this video is what I think is the most important stuff when you're first starting out. The first tip is probably the most obvious and also one of the most important, which is what record player should you buy? Collecting vinyl records can be a very expensive hobby, so it's very important that you get the right equipment. So when I was first starting out, I was literally this close to buying a Crosley suitcase model. I'll put a picture of it in case you don't know what it is. It's around $50 and it's what a lot of people have when they first start out. They get this kind, but I have heard things that say that they're not the best. If I remember correctly, I've heard a lot of people say that Crosleys have a high tracking force, which basically means that it puts a lot of pressure, the needle puts a lot of pressure on the record when it plays, and that can damage your records and wear them out over time. They are around $50, so really, like with anything in life that you want to get, the cheaper it is, usually it is lower quality, and the more expensive stuff is higher quality, so that's just something to keep in mind when you're looking for a starter record player. If you're broke and you don't have a lot of money to spend when you're starting up this hobby, then I think Crosleys are like okay if you want to get started with something cheap, but definitely consider upgrading. I would recommend starting out with an Audio-Technica record player. That is a really good record player brand. It's the one that I have. I would recommend the Audio-Technica LP60X. It's about $100 to $130. It is a lot if you're starting out, but it is a really quality record player and you probably will need to upgrade for a while if you start with that one. The record player that I have is an Audio-Technica LP60X BT, which means Bluetooth, so it's the LP60X model, but it has Bluetooth. And that's just because of the speakers that I have are Bluetooth speakers, so I just wanted to be able to use it with my Bluetooth speakers. And Audio-Technicas don't come with internal speakers, so you will need to buy separate speakers. The speakers that I have are Cyber Acoustics 3712 2.1 speakers. They are really good speakers. I definitely recommend them. You can still use them without Bluetooth, which is good, so you can use them with other record players that don't have Bluetooth. I'll leave a link to all of my equipment in the description. The next tip is how to store records properly. You want to make sure wherever you store your records that they are not in direct sunlight or they are not by a heat source, because if they're near a heat source then they could melt, because vinyl does melt and warp like that, and if it's in direct sunlight it can fade the covers over time from the sun. So make sure it's in a cool and dry environment. And you definitely want to make sure you store your records vertically, which means up and down, not horizontally, not stacked up on top of each other. Make sure they're like books at a library on a shelf. You want to make sure it's easy to pull them in and out and make sure they're not too tight. I recommend storing your records in a shelf or a crate. I thought it'd be cool to hang some on my wall, so I put 6 of them on my wall, 6 of my favorite records that I play the most. If you're hanging records on a wall, just make sure that they're really secure and that they don't fall. Tip number 3 is also really important. You really want to make sure that you clean your records and your needle. I clean records when I first buy them, so as soon as I get them I clean them right away, and then after I play them for a while I'll usually clean them if I notice a lot of dust. Also to make sure to clean the needle on the record player, because it can also pick up dirt and dust and particles and you don't want those to get inside the grooves of the records. So I bought this record cleaning kit on eBay. I'll leave a link in the description. Basically this is like really nice and compact. It's got everything in it that you need. So we just open this up, and right here it looks like a toothbrush, but it's a brush that you can use to clean off the needle. And this right here stores the brush that you use to clean the record. This is like a velvet felt piece that you put on top of the records to clean them. And the cleaning solution I use is just this anti-static solution. Let me know if you want a separate video on how to clean your records so I can show you if you want to know how I do it. Now tip number 4 I think is pretty obvious, but some people don't really know how to do this, so I'm going to let you know. So this is how to properly hold a record. I just want to let you know, for this example I am using a broken record, so I can show you what not to do. This record, as you can see, is broken. It came to me broken in the mail, so I can touch it however I want, but I'm going to show you what not to do for this. Don't hold your records like this. Keep your fingers off the grooves. You don't want to be touching the grooves because the natural oils in your fingers will get inside the grooves and it can build up over time and just like really mess up your records and your needle. When you take out the record, try your best to just hold it by the very edge. Don't obviously touch the grooves a whole lot. So just pull it out real easily like this. Put your hands on the edge. Make sure your fingers are not touching the black part or the colored part, aka the grooves. Really all you need to do is just hold it like this, and then you can obviously turn it. Just try your best not to touch the grooves. And then you can also hold it by the label. So just like by placing like one of your fingers under here. And then when I put it away, again, I just hold it by the edge really carefully. And then I just slip it back into the sleeve. Just like that. Obviously, you want to try your best not to scratch the records and don't throw them around. Be gentle with them because they're expensive and they can break easily. This next tip is kind of optional if you don't have a lot of money, but it's definitely something that you should look into when you have more money, and that is how to protect your records. So you can buy plastic outer sleeves for your records. Usually they aren't that expensive. You can buy like 25 for about $10 to $15. I'll leave a link of the ones that I have. The main reason why I use them is because the bottom of the shelf that I store my records in is kind of rough. It has like a rough texture, so when I pull them out from the shelf, like I was worried that the bottoms of the records would like get damaged and like kind of wear out, so I got these sleeves to help protect the bottom. And then the next thing you want to do is buy paper sleeves like this. Some people say that paper sleeves aren't good, but I haven't had a problem with them. And when you buy records from the store, most of them come with sleeves anyways, but I did buy extras just in case. The last tip is where to buy records and other record supplies like sleeves and cleaning materials. So I buy 99% of my records online. I have bought like probably 80% of them from eBay actually. And then I've also bought records straight from merch stores or the artist's official shop online. I started my record collection by buying the albums that were my favorites. I started out with my favorite records because I knew I liked them, so I obviously knew that I would listen to them a lot and really get my money's worth. I would recommend to just start buying what you like and what you know you'll listen to, because records are expensive, so you want to make sure that it's something that you're actually going to use. But me personally, I don't collect records that I won't listen to. So that was pretty much all the tips that I could think of. I probably missed some stuff out, so if I did, let me know in the comments, and if you have any other questions, tips, or suggestions, let me know. If you want to know some other things about collecting vinyl records or really anything, just let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. I'm going to be posting a video of my entire record collection very soon, coming in the next few weeks, because I have a few more records on the way and I want to put them in that video. So definitely look out for that and subscribe if you want to see more vinyl record videos. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!